There is a particular kind of tiredness that arrives after 70. It is not the tiredness of a long day in the garden, or the good soreness that used to follow a Saturday of moving furniture with your grown children. It is quieter than that. It is the tiredness that greets you before your feet even touch the floor in the morning. A soft heaviness behind the eyes, a small reluctance in the chest, a sense that the day ahead is asking more of you than you remember agreeing to give. You have probably never given this feeling a name. Most of us don't. We reach for the coffee cup. We pull the curtain aside to see what kind of light is coming through. We tell ourselves we simply didn't sleep well, and then we begin. But if you have been feeling it for weeks now, or months, or perhaps for longer than you care to admit, I want you to know something before we go any further. You are not imagining it. You are not being dramatic. And most importantly, you are not broken. What you are feeling has a shape. It has a rhythm. And once you can see the shape of it, you can begin very gently to step out of it. I want to walk with you tonight through something I've come to think of as the inner compass, the small, quiet system inside every one of us that tells us when we are being kind to our own body and when we are, without meaning to, being unkind. After 70, that compass does not weaken. It grows more sensitive. It notices what it never noticed before. And when we ignore it, it does not shout. It just dims. The light goes down 1 degree at a time, until we find ourselves sitting in the kitchen at 10 in the morning wondering where the day went and where we went with it. So, let's do something together. Let's name what you've been feeling. Let's soften it. And then, one small habit at a time, let's begin to break the loop. Type the word hope in the comments below when you're ready to walk this path with me, but not yet. Not until you've heard the first pattern out loud, because I think, once you do, you're going to recognize yourself in it. And recognition, as you'll see, is where the healing quietly begins. Here is the first loop. It is the one almost every person past 70 is caught in, and almost no one has words for. You wake in the morning, and before your body has even oriented itself to the room, your mind has already handed you a list. The laundry, the bills, the phone call you owe your daughter, the garden bed that has gone to weeds, the doctor's appointment you keep pushing to next month. And underneath all of it, a single quiet sentence hums like an old refrigerator in the next room. I should be able to do more than I'm doing, name it. That sentence is the loop. It is not the truth. It is a habit of thinking your body inherited from a younger decade, a decade when your legs were faster, when 8 hours of sleep was a floor and not a ceiling, when a cup of coffee was a beginning and not a small negotiation. Your body has changed since then. Your compass has recalibrated, and the sentence in your head has not caught up. Soften it. Say to yourself, out loud if you can, in the kitchen with the morning light coming sideways through the window, my body is not the body of a 40-year-old. My body is the body of someone who has already done more than most people will ever do. Say it slowly, let it land. There is no failure in 70. There is only accumulation. Every year you have lived is a year your body has carried you faithfully through weather most people never had to walk through. Break it. And here is where our first habit enters. Gently, like a friend at the back door. Not coffee, not the news, not the list. Before anything asks anything of you, pour yourself a glass of plain, room temperature water and drink it slowly, sitting down. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic have observed that after 70, the body's thirst signal grows softer. You are often mildly dehydrated for hours before you feel any thirst at all. And mild dehydration, physicians have noted, feels almost exactly like fatigue. It feels like the loop. It feels like I should be able to do more. 1 glass of water, 10 minutes of stillness. That is the entire habit. You are not fixing anything. You are simply telling your body, I hear you. I am with you today. And the loop, for the first time in a long while, has to loosen its grip. The second loop lives in the legs and the lower back, but it begins in the mind. You know this one. You are standing at the counter, chopping something small, a tomato maybe, or the last of the summer's basil. You could sit down. There is a chair 3 steps away, but a voice, quiet and stubborn and old, says, if I sit down now, I won't get back up. Better to keep moving. Better to push through, so you push through. And by 3 in the afternoon, your back is a hot band of complaint. And by evening, your knees feel like they belong to someone else. And by the time you finally do sit down, the sitting is not rest. It is collapse, name it. This is the loop of earned rest, the belief, held over from a working life, that rest must be justified. That you must first exhaust yourself before you are allowed to soften. Many older adults find themselves caught in it without ever realizing it has a name. Soften it. Rest at 70 and beyond is not a reward for hard work. Rest is the work. Rest is what allows the heart to keep its long, steady rhythm. Rest is what allows the mind to file the day's small joys into long-term memory. Rest is quite literally how your body rebuilds itself between one sunrise and the next. Break it. Here comes our second habit, and it is smaller than you think. Not 30 minutes, not a nap. 2 minutes. Between rinsing the dishes and starting the laundry, sit in the nearest chair, place both feet flat on the floor, and take 5 slow breaths. Physicians at Johns Hopkins have noted that these micro-rests, taken throughout the day, are more restorative for the aging cardiovascular system than one long afternoon collapse. The heart, they say, does not want a marathon of pushing followed by a crash. It wants a gentle in and out, a tide, a rhythm. 2 minutes, 5 breaths, that's the whole habit. And every time you take it, you are quietly telling the loop, I do not have to earn my rest anymore. I have earned it already, many times over. Now we come to the third loop, and this one is the tenderest of the 3. I want you to be gentle with yourself as we look at it together. Because I know it lives close to the bone. The phone rings. It's your son, or your neighbor, or the nurse from the clinic doing a follow-up call. How are you doing? They ask, and before you have even considered the question, your mouth has already answered. Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Don't you worry about me, but you are not fine. You have been sleeping poorly for 2 weeks. Your appetite has been strange. There is a small ache in the shoulder that has been getting a little louder each day. And still, without thinking, you said fine. Because you do not want to be a bother, because you have spent 70 years being the one who took care, not the one who was cared for. Because somewhere along the way, admitting need started to feel like admitting weakness, name it. This is the loop of invisible endurance. It is a habit so deep that most people never see it in themselves at all. Soften it. Being cared for is not weakness. It is the natural closing of a long circle. You spent decades caring for others. Now the people who love you are asking, quietly, for the honor of caring back. When you say fine automatically, you are not sparing them. You are without meaning to closing a door they wanted to walk through. Break it. Our third habit is not a physical habit. It is a habit of the tongue. Just one, not all of them. Once a day, when someone who loves you asks how you are doing, take a breath before you answer and give them one true sentence. My knee has been aching, or I slept badly last night, or I've been feeling a little lonely lately. Researchers at Harvard have followed adults over 70 for decades and found consistently that the single strongest predictor of energy, vitality, and even longevity is not diet or exercise. It is honest, unguarded connection with other people. One true sentence a day. That is how you begin now. Pause with me for a moment. Take a breath. Look up from the screen if you need to. Notice the light in the room where you're sitting. Notice the small sounds. The hum of the refrigerator, a bird outside, the soft click of a clock. Come back into the room with me because I want to tell you something now that almost no one tells you. All 3 loops. I should be doing more. I haven't earned my rest. I don't want to be a bother. They are not 3 separate problems. They are 3 faces of the same quiet pattern. And that pattern has a name. It is the pattern of living as if you still have to prove your worth. You don't. You never did, but you especially don't now. At 70, at 75, at 80 and beyond, your worth is not a thing you build. It is a thing you are. It is the sum of every meal you cooked, every child you comforted, every friend you sat with in a hospital room, every early morning you drove to a job you did not always love because someone was counting on you. All of that is already inside you. It is not going anywhere. It does not need to be earned again today. And here is the quiet, beautiful thing. Once you see this pattern, once you name it out loud, the 6 habits that remain in this evening's walk become not another list of things to do, but something much softer. They become bridges. Small wooden bridges out of the loops, each one gentle, each one small enough that you can walk it in a single afternoon. Let's walk the first 3 bridges now. Not a diet, not a rule, a simple, small kindness. Somewhere before the noon hour, place something green on your plate. A handful of spinach folded into scrambled eggs. A few slices of cucumber beside your toast. A small bowl of soup with parsley on top. The Cleveland Clinic has noted that the folate, magnesium, and gentle fiber in green vegetables in the morning stabilize energy across the entire afternoon in ways that no supplement has ever quite matched. But more than that, the small act of choosing something living, something that grew in soil, is itself a bridge out of the first loop. You are not doing more, you are doing something tender. There is a difference, whatever your mailbox is, the one at the end of the driveway, the one down the hallway of the apartment building, the small metal box at the corner store. Walk to it once a day, slowly, and walk back. That is all. If the weather is bad, walk to the front window and back. Physicians at the NIH have observed that adults over 70 who take just 8 to 12 minutes of gentle daily walking maintain balance, bone density, and mood at rates significantly higher than those who wait for a real walk that never quite happens. This is your bridge out of the second loop. You are not exercising. You are not earning anything. You are simply moving your body the way a body was made to move, slowly, with the light on your face, even in winter, even for just a quarter of an hour. Crack one window in the room where you spend the most time and let the outside air visit the inside air. Researchers at Harvard have quietly noted that indoor air in older homes carries measurably lower oxygen concentrations by mid-afternoon, and that this alone can produce the exact soft fatigue we named at the beginning of the evening. 15 minutes, one open window. Your lungs, your brain, your mood, all of them will feel the difference before the hour is out, and you will have taken another small step out of the loop of pushing through. I want to stop here for a moment, not to teach, just to listen. If any of what I have said tonight has found you, if the loop of I should be doing more, or the loop of earned rest, or the loop of I don't want to be a bother has felt like your own kitchen described back to you, I want you to know you are not alone in this room. There are thousands of us walking this same soft path, each in our own home, each in our own light. So if this is you tonight, if any part of this has felt like being seen, take a moment and type the word hope in the comments below. Just that one word. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to say anything more. It is a small way of raising your hand in the dark and saying, I'm here too. And when you scroll through the other comments later, you will see just how many hands are raised. That too is a bridge, maybe the most important one. Now let's walk the last 3 habits together. These are not bridges out of the loops. These are the habits of living beyond them. Meet Eleanor. She is 78. She lives in a small brick house in Asheville, North Carolina, and she was, for 41 years, the head librarian at the county's main branch. Her husband passed 6 years ago. Her children live in Denver and Charlotte. Most mornings she wakes at 5:30 out of a habit her body has not forgotten, even though there is no longer any library to open. For a long time after her husband's passing, Eleanor was caught in all 3 loops at once. She pushed through days she should have rested through. She said fine to every phone call. She measured each day by what she had managed to accomplish, and each day came up short. What changed for her was not dramatic. It was these next 3 habits layered slowly over one soft year. For Eleanor, it is lunch at 12:30, soup most days, sometimes with a piece of bread, sometimes with a piece of leftover chicken. The meal itself is not the point. The rhythm is the point. Physicians at the Mayo Clinic have observed that the aging body relies on predictable meal timing far more than the younger body ever did, that the digestive system, the blood sugar, and even the mood all steady themselves around one anchor meal each day. Eleanor's 12:30 soup is her anchor. When everything else in the day drifts, that one meal holds the day in place. Find yours. It does not have to be lunch. It just has to be the same time. Most days warm and eaten sitting down, not a text, not an email, out loud. It can be your daughter on the phone. It can be the pharmacist at the counter. It can be the mail carrier through the screen door. It can even be the woman ahead of you in the grocery line. And the conversation can be nothing more than, isn't this weather something? Researchers at Johns Hopkins have found that the simple mechanical act of speaking out loud to another human being, hearing your own voice answered by another voice, regulates the nervous system in ways that silence cannot. It is not about the content. It is about the contact. One voice, once a day. Eleanor calls it her daily anchor. She calls someone or greets someone before noon, no matter what, and she says it has done more for her mood than any medicine ever prescribed. Just one, in bed, before the light goes out. Say it aloud or say it silently, or write it down in a small notebook by the lamp. The tomatoes ripened. My grandson called. The coffee tasted especially good this morning. The cardinal came back to the feeder. One small good thing named specifically, spoken to the closing day. Researchers at Harvard have studied this practice in adults over 70 for more than a decade now, and what they have found is quietly astonishing. Those who name one small good thing at the end of each day show measurable improvements in sleep quality within 3 weeks, in overall energy within 6 weeks, and in what the researchers call life satisfaction, that soft, hard-to-name feeling of being at peace with the day one has lived, within 3 months. 3 months. That is one season. That is nothing at all in the arithmetic of a long life. Eleanor keeps her notebook on the nightstand. She has filled 2 of them now, cover to cover with small good things. She says on the hard days she opens an old one at random and reads 3 entries, and every time without fail the loops loosen. The heaviness lifts, just a little. The compass steadies. So here is where we've walked together tonight. We named the tiredness you had never quite named. We looked at 3 loops. I should be doing more. I haven't earned my rest. I don't want to be a bother. And we saw them for what they were, not truths, but old habits of thinking that your body has outgrown. We saw the deeper pattern beneath them, the quiet, exhausting belief that you still have to prove your worth. And we let that belief go gently, the way you might set down a heavy grocery bag at the top of the stairs. Finally, with a small sigh, then we walked 9 small bridges, water before anything else, 2 minutes of sitting between tasks, 1 honest answer a day, something green before noon, a slow walk to the mailbox, 15 minutes of open window, 1 warm meal at the same time. one voice spoken to out loud, one small good thing named at the end of the day. 9 habits, none of them heroic, none of them urgent, all of them small enough to begin tomorrow morning, in the same kitchen where you're standing tonight, in the same slippers, with the same light coming through the same window. You do not have to do all 9 at once. You do not have to do any of them perfectly. Start with the one that spoke to you the loudest as we walked, just that one. Let it settle into your days like a small, kind guest, and in a week or two, when it feels less like a habit and more like a friend, add the next one. Your body at 70 and beyond is not asking you for a transformation. It is asking you for tenderness. It is asking to be listened to at the volume it now speaks at, which is a softer volume than it used to be, but not a lesser one. In many ways, it is a truer one. If you have walked this whole path with me tonight, I want to thank you. It means something to me that you gave this hour to your own well-being. That is itself a kind of habit. The habit of turning toward yourself with the same kindness you have offered so many others across so many years. If tonight's walk has been a comfort to you, would you consider subscribing to this quiet corner of the internet and gently tapping the bell? Not because I need it, but because it means we can keep walking together on the evenings ahead. There will be more paths like this one, more kitchens, more porches, more small bridges, and I would like very much to walk them with you. And if you have not yet done so, type the word HOPE in the comments below. Let the others know you were here tonight. Let them see your hand in the dark, wherever you are as you hear these last words. Whether it is early morning with the coffee just starting to steam, or late evening with the lamp beside you, throwing a small warm circle onto the wall, I want you to know this. You are seen. You are not falling behind. You are not doing this wrong. You are, in fact, doing something quietly extraordinary. You are still here. You are still trying. You are still listening to the compass inside you that has never in 70 years or more stopped pointing toward the light. Ret well tonight. Drink your water in the morning. Sit for 2 minutes between the small tasks of the day. Say one true sentence to someone who loves you. And tomorrow evening, before the light goes out, name one small good thing. I'll be here. I'll be walking with you. Good night, dear friend. And may the peace of a well-lived day find you exactly where you are.